Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Litecoin. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord, check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so we're talking about this potential of a much more bigger bullish move here. So this is viable for as long as we hold $61. If we fail to hold that level, this whole structure falls apart. Basically, this is looking for a bigger five-wave move, potentially to start to play out from here, looking to get up into this zone of this 177. Though we need to be aware there are other interpretations of this, and if this does start to break down here, basically we would have to be aware that there are other ways that we can look at this move. I'm still looking for that potential that we could see another three-wave move to the downside towards this 2686 range. The alternative for this is that instead of seeing this move play out in a three-wave move, something like this, to the downside here, what we could then also be looking for is alternatively that this whole move here has actually just been a B wave. And then we could actually look for a much deeper C wave here, which potentially could go as deep as this 1283 if this is the case. Potentially this could mean that we have a deeper sell-off here. So need to be aware of that, need to just see how we actually progress up here. We fail to actually reach those impulsive targets, basically we could see a corrective move back, or a bigger sell-off to the downside rather. So what I'm also being careful of here is that we could potentially look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and then we're looking for the C wave here. So even if we do form a five-wave move to the upside, just need to be careful that this is not actually just a Y wave as another zigzag here, looking to potentially come up and test this zone of this 1-to-1, which would be here at this 112 area. So these are the things we need to be cautious of. There is that bullish potential, but basically what we need to see on the lower time frames, we're going to go over that now. So I'm just going to turn this back on and I'm going to come back in here. So if we are looking at this as a low point here, basically we can't lose this low again, which is currently sitting here at this zone of this 65.19, and basically we need to actually see this start to progress up here. So how would that happen? So the way that I would be looking at this is there's two ways potentially that this could be playing out. This could be setting up a series of ones and twos again here, in which case we'll be starting to get a bigger push to the upside here. So the key zones here to take away from is basically this green one here, this 123. Actually, I'm going to start from this side. So the blue one, the blue wave ones, typical third wave would be 122. The green wave one's third wave would be this 123 area. And the yellow one, which is the shorter term one here, this would be that 107. So what we really need to see here is if we were looking for an impulse here, we need to actually see this green target get hit, this 123.03. Hitting this zone would actually trigger the rest of these moves. It would suffice then for the typical fib retracement levels, and these would then look to extend out. So this is what we're looking out for here, the potential to have a bigger push to the upside. So if you were going to look at it in this way, potentially you would have to argue that this is a diagonal as a wave one, looking for a wave two, and then looking for this third wave to this 107. So, we have actually come down deep enough here that this move could be completed. We could technically move down a little bit deeper here towards this 88.74, and but we wouldn't really want to lose this low of this 87.67 region. Don't want to lose this 786. If we do, we'd have to be very careful because then a move past this 85.61 would invalidate the potential of that push up in an additional one and a two here, and then rather it would, yeah, I mean, the whole move would not make much sense then anymore if we lose this low. So this is going to be this 85.61. Don't really want to lose that. Losing that makes this whole structure fall apart basically. And if that's the case, we'd potentially be looking at some other kind of a structure. So for as long as we hold this 87.67 region, we can look for this potential to push up towards this 107 region. I would, however, just be cautious of this. If we just see this play out as something like this, a three-way move up to this 1-to-1 here, I would be starting to worry that, potentially something else is going on here. could see a bigger flat correction here, something like this. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this 99.79 region as well if we do look to push to the upside here. Okay, so this is the one way of looking at this move. The alternative way would be to actually look at this as a diagonal. So this way you would be basically looking at all of this as a wave one, this is a two, this as a this. So now there's a couple of ways of looking at this as well. So technically speaking, we could argue that within here you could count 3, 4, 5 and it's completed. In which case we would be looking for a bigger breakdown now. So if this is the case, what I would be expecting is that we won't come back above this high. So this will be sort of looking for confirmation of this count. So moving back above that high would invalidate this theory, but or at least that it's completed here, where this is the third, fourth, and fifth. Alternatively, what we could see is a three-wave move back up here, something like this. And, we could then look at this structure rather in this way, where we're forming an ascending wedge pattern here. And then we could see one more three-wave move up here, and that could actually look to complete this as a five-wave move. So if this is the case, and we're looking for this bullish structure here as an A, B, or as a bigger 1, 2, what I'll then be looking for is basically a three-wave move down into the zone. So this could be starting here. It could happen after one more push up to the upside here. There's a couple of ways of reading this move, so we need to be cautious. This is just looking for those bullish scenarios. Within this, the key areas to hold are this low here at the 65.19 and then this 70.83 region. This is a typical support box, and basically if we did have to move to that 0.618, which I've got marked out here at the 75.60, we'd be looking for a bigger third wave up towards this 180, 148 region. And that would be what we would be wanting for a bigger bullish count, where we're looking for this as a bigger five-wave move. So there's a lot that needs to happen for this to play out. Obviously, we could see that the other count play out, where we've got a whole bunch of ones and twos in here, and then this thing starts to do this. We start to get fourths and fifths, and it carries on pushing up. But really, we just need to be a little bit careful, because there are a couple of ways of reading this. So I'm going to get rid of this count now here. The alternative is that potentially this is not completed, and we could be looking for something like this to play out, either as an A, B, and a C, or alternatively as a bigger 1, 2, and then we have a bigger sell-off. So this is what we're being cautious of, until we actually break back above this 105.81. We need to be careful of the fact that this could actually still look to break to the downside here. And, we could still see either a move down towards this 58.99 if this is an ABC pattern, or alternatively, if we have a bigger breakdown, we would be looking for this $45 region. So this would be looking at this potentially as a 1 and a 2, and then looking for that breakdown. So how can we look at this as a corrective structure? So because of the way that it is overlapping, potentially we could argue that this move has something like this going on instead. And instead of trying to count this whole move up into this high point here as a diagonal, we could also argue that this is just an A wave here, B wave, and then this whole move here is a C wave. So this is much the same idea as the other diagonal. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. But potentially, if we see a three-wave move up here, this could actually then complete the C wave. So the C wave 1 to 1 is actually the A wave 1 to 1 is actually this 104 region. But these are some other interesting zones here. This 85 this 85 sorry, this 99.52 and this 97.47 region. Basically, these areas here are areas that the C wave can stop short. So within this, basically, there is a rule that says that this fifth wave, if this is the case, cannot cross this 99.79 region. So this would actually tie in quite nicely with it actually stopping short at one of these lower ranges here. If we do move above 99.79, we can't look at this idea as a diagonal anymore within this structure like this. So that's going to be a key area. I will be keeping an eye on this if we do get a three-wave move to the upside, seeing how we react into these highs here. Potentially that could be a zone that we could get a massive rejection off of. So I will be personally watching this area. But yeah, just remember, if you are going to be trading anything, make sure that you use good risk management. Talking about trading, why not come check the Discord out? We have a trading tier. all the information is down below in the description. Okay, so let's get into the alternative way we can look at this is we can also potentially argue that we could just have a completed A wave into this high where this is A, B, C. And if this is the case, potentially what we could then be looking for is a B wave move down into the typical zone I would be looking for would be this 82.78 to the 70.72. So we're going to have to monitor this move. It's possible that within this we've got rather just a bigger corrector structure here. I wouldn't say W, I wouldn't say ABC, I'd say rather W and X and then a Y, something like this. So I'm keeping an eye on this. I've drawn this channel basically off these highs here and connected this bottom. I'm just looking to see if there is any confluence here. So actually off this high, this 1-to-1 would bring us down here towards this 85.54 region, which would actually tie in with this 1.618 of this move to the downside as well. Of this is an A, B, and then looking for that C. So this would be an interesting area to see if we come into. If we do, then potentially we could still look to rally up in the C wave. So how would this tie into the bigger picture? So this would tie into that idea that the B wave isn't completed yet, and potentially we could see a move up into this 1-to-1 area. We can see there's some overlap here between this 112 and this 116 would bring us back into this sort of area at the top here. So I have to keep an eye on this. It can potentially turn into a bigger impulse, but we need to see those nice strong moves to the upside. For as long as we don't, I would still be looking out for that potential, that we could actually start to break to the downside here. And we've got those targets earlier on in the video, so if you need to just go back and see those out. So yeah, basically that's all I got, and the bullish count can play out. Need to just get that confirmation. Need to see those support zones hold and continue to actually set these new higher lows and um, higher highs. Need to see this in the immediate short term here. If we are looking for the bullish count, need to see this zone particularly hold this 87.67. And then what we want is that bigger confirmation to this 107 region. Failure to do so would um, bring in those other potentials. Like we said, watch out for that three-wave move up. If we get something like this, interact with this top trend line again, and then get a harsh rejection off of it, this would indicate to me that either, like I said, this could become a 1 and a 2, and then we'd have to look for that support lower down here, or alternatively, we could actually begin to have a bigger sell-off play out from this area. So just keep an eye on this. Um, Basically, you want to get above this 107 and continue this trend up here, and particularly we want to get above this 123 range. So yeah, I mean that's what we need to keep an eye on. We need to get this move going now, because really this would be so many ones and twos here. This should, if it's correct, start to explode to the upside. So basically, if it doesn't, then we know that this is not the correct count. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on the bell notification so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, there are affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.